One Piece, 10 characters who would make great among us imposters. Some of Luffy's allies' enemies in One Piece would be fantastic at playing the imposter role in Among Us. The One Piece universe has many characters who are gifted in the arts of deception and illusion. Whether through directly manipulating those around them by convincing them of benevolent motives or by having the ability to navigate treacherous situations without being seen. They have proven themselves capable of subtlety in numerous instances. Such rogues would make for excellent imposters in Among Us. With the perfect imposters carefully picking off their prey and employing the full extent of their skills. The crewmates would never suspect anything until it was far too late to vote the intruders off the ship. 10. Bon Clay was a master of impersonation. Bon Clay was a master of impersonation, having proven capable of balancing his devil fruit's powers with an ability to deceive others. He was responsible for pretending to be Alabastus King in order to exacerbate the tension between the nation's loyalists and rebels. Additionally, he managed to pose as Warden Magellan in order to facilitate Luffy's escape from Impel Down. Given his convincing performances and history as an imposter, it follows that he would be equally efficient at killing crewmates without suspicion. 9. Robin was able to lay low, assume various disguises for her entire life. Wanted by the Marines as the last survivor of O'Hara, Robin spent her entire childhood assuming various disguises and avoiding the authorities. Considering how well she could remain out of the suspicion from the world government, fooling 8 crewmates would be trivial in comparison. Robin's devil fruit would be particularly useful in her ventures since it would allow her to kill targets from a distance without being noticed. Using this technique, she could efficiently blame innocent people for the deaths of their comrades and conclude the match with a comfortable victory. 8. Absalom's devil fruit allowed him to go completely invisible. Absalom was a servant of Gecko Moria on Thriller Bark whose clear fruit allowed him to turn completely invisible. He was fully capable of attacking enemies in this state, as proven through his battle against Sanji. Subsequently, the animalistic villain would be able to make crewmate kills without suspicion since they could not visibly perceive him. Absalom's only setback to his success would be for his excessive lust, as he may toy with certain victims rather than disposing of them immediately. 7. Demero Black was a convincing imposter to hundreds of people, including the Navy. Demero Black may have had few redeeming qualities, but he was a successful social manipulator who managed to fool hundreds of pirates and the Navy into believing that he was Straw Hat Luffy. This was why he was able to rally a massive horde of minions on the outskirts of Sabaody. Subsequently, he would be equally successful in convincing a lobby of unsuspecting crewmates of his innocence. Weaving a series of elaborate lies that last ephemerally enough for him to exterminate the group and claim his victory. 7. Demero Black was a convincing imposter to hundreds of people, including the Navy. Demero Black may have had few redeeming qualities, but he was a successful social manipulator who managed to fool hundreds of pirates and the Navy into believing that he was Straw Hat Luffy. This was why he was able to rally a massive horde of minions on the outskirts of Sabaody. Subsequently, he would be equally successful in convincing a lobby of unsuspecting crewmates of his innocence. Weaving a series of elaborate lies that last ephemerally enough for him to exterminate the group and claim his victory. 5. Akainu was such a strong liar that he managed to turn Whitebeard's own ally against him. While Akainu may not be the first to comes to mind and envisioning a skilled impostor particularly for his sentiment on justice, he is a profoundly capable liar. The man was responsible for turning one of Whitebeard's closest allies against him before the battle for Marineford. by playing on the crewmates' worst fears and crafting convincing narratives about their comrades. The fleet admiral would manipulate the lobby against itself, minimizing the murders he needed to commit in order to win the match. 4. Zio's invisibility would be a major asset. Zio was a fishman with the ability to turn completely invisible. This would provide a straightforward route to victory, as he would be able to pick off crewmates without being noticed, even killing them regardless of security cameras. The villain's only shortcoming is for his lacking intelligence. He tends to meander immediately before his attacks, as demonstrated in his fight against Brooke. If he can manage to keep his mouth shut and kill crewmates swiftly, Zio would succeed in his mission before his identity could come to light. 3. Vivi was a skilled imposter who managed to fool Crocodile. Vivi was able to infiltrate the Baroque Works organization by posing as Miss Wednesday. This allowed her to keep a close eye on Crocodile's organization and anticipate his next moves without him knowing. Considering that she was able to fool one of the most ruthless and hardened warlords of the sea, deceiving a lobby of crewmates should be relatively trivial, especially if she attempts to employ the enthralling belly dance technique that she used against the Straw Hats. 2. Caesar Clown was charismatic enough to deceive almost everyone. Caesar Clown was a remarkably capable liar whose natural charisma occluded his more sinister schemes. Not only was he able to fool kidnapped children into believing that he was their savior, but the scientist also managed to dupe Brownbeard and even his own men into considering him a messianic figure. His gas fruit would also prove a considerable asset to his work as an imposter, since it would allow him to flow through vents more easily and suffocate every crewmate unfortunate enough to get near him at the same time. 1. Blackbeard knew how to bide his time. Deceived one of the most powerful men in history. As a former member of Newgate's crew, Blackbeard was arguably the most skilled liar in the One Piece universe. Not only was he able to deceive the Whitebeard pirates until the murder of Thatch, but he also managed to occlude his true intentions from Luffy and even the Navy until the time was right. His darkness fruit would also allow him to swallow bodies entirely, forcing suspicious crewmates to call an emergency meeting if they intended to accuse him. Should they fail to incriminate Teach, they won't get a second chance.